my lovelies, I hope you're all well. I'm Tan, the monogamous cross stitcher, and welcome to my finish parade. So I'm not exactly doing the norm, which is normally a whip parade, because as you all know, I don't really have many whips. So I'm going to do a finish parade of everything I've finished in 2023, and then I'm going to show you my first fully finished object of 2024. So let's start. Yes, so the very first object I finished was my first regular Heaven and Earth Designs piece. I worked on this for 18 months. I'm unsure of the dates, so we'll pop them on the screen. But I worked on this for 18 months and I was chuffed to pieces when I finished this. I finished this in, I think it was, I'm sure it was September time, October time, something like that. I'll pop the dates on the screen anyway, but this was my first finish. So this was Welcome Home by Cherie Gerhardt. I do have plans to frame it eventually, which I will do. But yeah, that's my first finish, which I will eventually frame, I think, once I get around to it. So that was my first finish of 2023. My second finish was my cat. I was very unsure of this one due to the paw, but I finished it and everyone says it looks great. So there we go then. So the second one I finished was Oberon by Elisabeth Alba, and this was another regular Heaven and Earth Designs. So there he is. Very handsome chap. Again, I'll get him framed at some point. He took me, I think, 2 years, a month and 2 weeks or something like that. Just because I put him down for a long time when I realised I ran out of fabric at the bottom. But I'm happy with how he's come out. So again, I will drop the dates. So those two were stitched on 25 count even weave to over 1/10. So that's how I've done those. Then in support of the Wishy Stitcher, I'd actually had this chart in my basket for since 2016, I think it was. I just never got round to buying it and I forgot it was there. So I decided to get this in support of the Witchy Stitcher. So I did stitch this up for my partner. And that's that one there. I love how this turned out. I did decide to do the bat in glow in the dark threads. So he glows in the dark. I'm really happy with how he turned out. And so I stitched that. I think it's on 14 or 16 count Ada that I got from a friend. She dyed it and she gave it to me. I actually brought a frame for something else before and it was just sitting there not being used, so I decided I was going to frame it in that and give it to my partner. But then when I came round to framing it, do you think I could find it to frame? But I eventually found it, so I'll frame that, I'll line that and frame that up and give it to him probably when I'm back from work in 3 weeks' time. Now, you're probably all aware that when I very first started, I've probably told you all before that when I first started stitching seriously again in 2015, there wasn't a lot of choice around, so it was either stuff with backstitch or full coverage pieces. So I always stuck to full coverage pieces, hence why I've got so many finished minis and things, regulars, and my other inactive mini that's currently on the go as well. But I decided, after going to retreats and things and seeing what other people were stitching on, I found a love for Quakers. So it was just so Cherie that inspired me to do this one. So I picked the fabric up from Megan Coffee Craft Fabric back at the Bristol Stitchy Day in October, end of September it was, and I stitched this one. So this is a 28 count dyed fabric, and this one is Enchanted Quaker by Luminous Fibre Arts, and I love that one. So I will actually frame this one as well. I'll frame all of these at some point. So I did this 28 count, so I did it 2/2 with Dinky Dye's Black Sand Beach. I ran out of thread a few times, but finally managed to finish it. I'm very happy with the result. That's another of my finishes. I kind of went on a mad dash and finished loads of stuff all at once. So that's that finish. My next one, which I finished, I think it was just before New Year. Yeah, it was just before New Year. I'd finished it completely. The only thing I wanted to do, which wasn't compulsory, was to add some beads. Now I lost my beads. I lose everything. I looked everywhere for these beads and I couldn't find them anywhere, and then I remembered where I think they might have gone, so I found them. So when I got back from my partner's after New Year, I sat and I beaded the little bits I wanted to do. Now, unfortunately, where I hoped to put the beads didn't look right on some things, i.e. the birds, which I'll show you shortly, and I think on the pumpkins I was going to put beads in the eyes, but I couldn't fit 3 beads in, and I thought just fill them in with black instead. So this is the finished piece. So this is the first time you've seen it finished since my last floss tube. Very, very, very happy with that. Now I'm going to try and bring it closer and show you where I've put the beads. So I don't know if you can see in the cat's eyes, in the owl's eyes, and the bird at the top. The beads here. These are glow in the dark beads. I was going to put some beads in this pumpkin here, but it just didn't look right, and on these birds, and it just didn't look right, so I just left it to the cats and the one bird. But yeah, I don't think anyone's ever beaded this project before, so it's definitely something different to them. So this has got glow in the dark threads, so it's got glow in the dark. Bring it back up again. Still after a board where I can show stuff. So it's got glow in the dark, the moon. You can't really see the moon very well, but around the moon, in the spider web there, and that ghost is going to be glow in the dark as well. But I will, if you go on my Instagram, which is cxc.by.tan, you will see that I have posted updates and pictures of how it glows in the dark. But I am very happy with that. And I also added an R because my partner Rich. But yeah, I love that. And obviously that will go in a frame. So that was my very last finish of 2023. Excuse me. So I've had quite a good 2023 with finishes, to be fair. So my first, actually no, I did also finish another piece. Actually, tell a lie, it was a Christmas present from my mum. So I decided I wanted to do the January Quakers for this year. And she got me the January pattern for Christmas. My partner got me the sparkly fabric, and my mum also got me the classic colourwork threads for Christmas as well. So I started this, I think, because we had our Christmas on the 23rd of December. So after a major struggle trying to get it in Pattern Keeper, and then it wasn't working, and then buying markup and getting it into markup, I finally started it. And it would have probably taken me 3 days, and I not struggled with paper pattern and then trying to get the PDF into an app. I eventually started it on markup, finished it, and then I fully finished it the other day. So I'll show you this now. I'm really proud of this. So this is my January Quaker that I started and finished just before the new year, and then the other day I fully finished it. So as you can see, it's slightly padded on the top, which I wanted to do. I felted the back, laced and felted the back, and I also made my own cord as well. Now this wasn't too bad to make, but it was an absolute nightmare to stitch on. It took me some time to figure out how to get it how I wanted it, but to be quite honest, for the first time fully finishing something that's not in a frame, I'm really quite chuffed with how that turned out. I think it looks amazing. So I do plan to finish all of my Quakers like this. I'm working on February at the moment, which you will see shortly. I'll do like a pink, red and white cord, and then I'll put like a pale pink on the back there, finish it with the cushiness. So yeah, that's my sort of last finish of 2023, but my first fully finished object of 2024. So I'm really chuffed with that. It's beautiful. I stitched this on 25 count snow even weave. I got this from the Wool Warehouse. This was actually inspired by Holly, the cross stitcher. I think that's her full name, Holly, on YouTube. I saw she was doing a bumblebee on it, and I was like, oh, that's so pretty. So I got that for Christmas off Rich and did that. I was actually only going to do the sparkly fabric for the winter months, but I love it so much I've decided I'm doing it for the entire 12. So yeah, that's my fully finish. My last, so actually yes, this was a new start, a finish and a fully finish. Not bad. My first finish of 2024 was my temperature cell, which I started very late in the year because I started a temperature cell and I didn't enjoy it, so I decided to start a new one. And everyone was like, oh, will you catch up? And I was like, yeah, of course I'll catch up, no problem, easy peasy. So I did, I caught up. And that is my temperature cell for 2023. Don't get me wrong, it was really hard to stitch on some of the dark areas of the fabric, but I love how that's come out. It looks great. And it's quite small as well, so I don't think it'll take a massive frame. I don't think I'm going to bother adding the area and the temperatures on the front, but what I might do is on this, like a spare bit of this fabric, I'll stitch it on there, or even write it on a bit of paper, I think, and put it on the back of the frame. But yeah, there we go. Very proud of that. So that is my finish parade. I didn't. Everyone's doing obviously whip parades because end of year and all that, but I don't really have a huge amount of whips, so I thought I'll do a finish parade because I've got quite a lot of finishes. But I do have some whips, so I will show you those now. As you all know, I only like to really work on one at a time and then sort of have a whip, like a temperature chart floating about as you do. But I didn't get sucked into the new start. I got given something for free and I thought, oh, I could do that, and that's how I ended up with 4 whips, which, to be fair, they will be finished rather sharpish, so I'll be back to my 2, so it's not too bad. So I got approached by someone on Instagram asking if I could get one of their kits and review it, and I says happily, no problem. So they sent me a selection of 4 different projects. Don't know if you're aware by now, I'm not very keen on small projects. I prefer a bigger project. So I was having a look through and then I was having a think, and I finally decided. Now, I was looking after a lady for 2 years in Salisbury, and I left, I think it was July last year I left, and I actually received a birthday card from her in October, and then I received a Christmas card and a Christmas present in December, which I did not expect. So because I obviously didn't buy her a Christmas card because I didn't realise that was going to be a thing, I actually thought, oh, I'll do this one, stitch it up, and then I'll send it her for her birthday in February. So her birthday is not until February the 21st, so I've got a bit of time to get it done. I mean, it's only a little one, so this is the one I am doing for her. So let's see there. Now it's an entire kit. The scent, the fabric, the floss, the instructions, and a needle. But I didn't use the fabric because it was what was it? I think it was 16 count fabric, and haed I don't like it, so I decided I'm just going to do it on some from stash. And after a night of cutting all my Quakers, monthly Quakers to size, I had a little bit of that sparkly fabric left that Richard got me, so I thought, oh, I'll do it on that. So I've decided what I'm going to do is, because she's quite a big lover of birds, she lives in the countryside, so I'm going to just mainly do the bird and not bother with the berries. So far, this is how far I have got. So this is about 2 sort of nights working. I mean, I could just like completely carry on with it and get it finished, but because it's small, I do tend to get a little bit bored. So what I tend to do is I alternate between projects, which I never thought I'd do. So I tend to do my daily temperature cell, and then I do a little bit on this, and then I go back to my January Quaker. So my current main project is on hold at the moment. So that's how far I've got, and to be honest, the thread is quite nice to stitch with. I'm not sure if it's DMC or not, but it feels quite nice to stitch with, so that's something. So it's looking good. I'm not sure if you can see the sort of sparkly fabric, but and I never thought I'd ever use this tiny nerd frame that I had for my birthday, but I am. So that's my first whip that I'm doing. Not sure whether I'm going to bother taking it to work with me yet. I'm thinking if I do, I can just play with it and get it finished. Buy a nice wooden hoop, finish it off in that, and then send it off for a birthday. Yeah. The plan with the monthly Quakers was I was going to do them in the middle of every month, because the last one only took me 4 days, so I thought these are only going to take me about a week at most if I'm concentrating on it fully. So I'm not going to be too bothered about doing them just before the month changes. But I actually got a little bit, I was enjoying doing my Modern Folk embroidery sale and decided that I was enjoying it, but I wanted to do a Quaker. So I picked up my February Quaker and I started it. But unfortunately, when I got my colours for Christmas, there was a couple missing that were out of stock, so I couldn't get them all. So I started with the green first. So this is my February Quaker so far. So I did most of the green, and then yesterday my order came from Lakeside, so I started on the pink. And I'm loving how it's looking. It's really pretty. I'm not hugely keen on stitching with the pink. It's not my favourite colour, but it's working out well. So I'm stitching this on the sparkly fabric, the 25 count Snow even weave from Wool Warehouse with Classic Colour Works. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. It's looking fabulous. So yes, I'm enjoying that. Just going to quickly pop it back on my merge, because I will be stitching on this today. So yeah, love that. And then I've got my March one kitted up to take to work with me. Just in case I fancy stitching it. I might not, but it's there just in case. There's nothing worse than going away for 2 weeks and thinking, I wish I'd brought that with me, or I forgot this thread colour, or I've done this, or I've done that. So yeah. Right, my next whip is my potion bottle sale. Started this on January. I started the shelf just before New Year actually, and then I started the bottles from the 2nd, because we're always going to be a day behind because we have to wait for the weather. So I just need to do yesterday. So far I've got the 1st to the 4th, and that's my temperature. I chose just a fairly basic grey linen. I can tell it's fairly basic as well because it's not the easiest to stitch on, but it's coming out okay, so that's good. This is going to be massive compared to my other one, but I'm enjoying it. I'm stitching this with my friend Jen in America. So I was going to just do a high or a low colour, but I've decided the main colour is the high, and then the little bit inside is the low temperature. So yeah, I'm enjoying that as well. I am tending to do a bottle each day, so I don't have to sit and catch up on loads of bottles, because it's a small stitch. I'd get bored if I have to do a load of catching up, so one a day. So I'll do this later on. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that's looking as well. They're all So that one obviously is going to last me until the 2nd of January next year, so I won't finish that until 2025. So yeah, there we go, that's the right way. And this one is the Modern Folk Embroidery Cell, No Time Like the Present, and this is how far I've got. I'm not doing it as a cell per se because I started it last year in November time, I think it was. But yeah, I'm loving how that's coming out. This is all going to be 3799, so I'm alternating between that and doing the Borealis special thread I had done in there. But this is a whip that's sort of been put on the back burner for now while I finish the bird and February. But yeah, I'll be coming back to that. I'll be taking it with me to work anyway, so I will be stitching on that. So that's all my whips. I don't have any other whips to show you, thankfully. It's stressing me out having that many on the go, because I'd always tell myself that I was only going to have a main one and then a cell alongside it. But I do want to get those finished ASAP, because in February I'm going on a retreat with 10 other friends, and we are going to be going to the shops in Wales, create nostalgia and nimble thimble, and just basically sitting and stitching all weekend, which I can't wait. I'm so excited now. I've spent a couple of days with my friend Jess stitching, so I'm really quite excited to... Or before that, I do have a stitchy down the 27th that I've organised with my friend Kate, so I've got a couple of exciting stitchy things coming up, so I'm quite excited for that. So anyway, yes, as I was saying, in February, I've mentioned this before, that we're doing a round robin, an ink circles round robin, me, Jess, Rachel and Rosie. And I think I've decided on the pattern I want to do, because I'm very into my Quakers at the moment. I'm one of these stitchers that I don't mind doing block stitching and I don't mind doing confetti stitching, but I like doing that stitching in between where you're doing a bit of a block but they're sort of like scattered around, and with Quakers you get that, so they're like sort of block but scattered. So that's why I enjoy Quakers as much as I do, which is probably why I really needed to do that February Quaker as quick as I did. So yes, I think I've chosen the one I've decided to do. I'm still not 100% sure, but this is the one I really like the look of, which I think I might do. So yeah, I think that's the plan. So I've just we're going to do a new start at the February retreat. So I've decided I want that to be my new start, because I think it would stress me out if I started that in March and then we had another new start at February. So that's going to be my new start in February. I just need to decide on colours, fabric, but hopefully I'll have a decision made by my next floss tube. Fingers crossed. Future plans going forward is the round robin. I also will be starting, this is way in the future, I will be starting I think it's an anything goes, so I'll probably do one of my Old Forest embroidery kits. It's 1st of June, yeah, 1st of June till the 31st of October. So like I said, that's way in the future, with my friend Tarina, because she's celebrating a big birthday and I'm celebrating a big birthday. So we're going to start the 1st of June because her birthday's in June, and then my birthday's in October, so we're going to plan to finish it completely by the end of October. But I haven't quite decided on that yet, so look out for future plans on what that will be. Yes. I will also be starting my March, which is lots of beautiful greens. So I will be starting March at some point, probably while I'm away at work, with the beautiful sparkly fabric. This is the last piece. Or have I got a piece for April? No, I haven't. So this is the last piece of the sparkly fabric. It works out that you can get 3 pieces out of each bit, and then you're left with scraps. So I'll be getting some more of that soon. And these are the pretty greens. So these are the classic colour works. Don't want to get them all out the packet. I will show you my other ones shortly. So those are the pretty greens, which I will be doing for March. Okay, so that's finishes, whips, plans as far as we're aware. I think it's only left his haul now, yeah, haul. So I had that sparkly fabric I just showed you for Christmas from Witchy. He also brought me some of the pip and chip bobbins. So, funny story. I sent a list of things I would like to Rich for Christmas, and I said to him I would like 89 bobbins from Pip and Chip. Sent him the link. Well, sometimes when you click on the link, it's still there, isn't it? What you've selected, the size or whatever it is. But when he clicked on this link, it went back to the default of only 25 bobbins. So he completely ignored the message that I wrote underneath saying order 89, and he ordered me 25. So instead of 89 bobbins, I got 25. But can't complain. They'll come in handy, obviously. Even though at the moment I am quite enjoying my floss drops. But I don't think I'd use floss drops for a full coverage. More than 10 colours, I'd say. Right, so I also got off him 3 of the monthly charts. So I got February, March and April. And a lovely bottle of brandy. Very nice. So for Christmas off my mum, she says she was going to give me the money to frame my Harry Potter piece, which I will get round to eventually, unless I decide I want to spend it on shops in February. So we shall see. But she did buy me all of the colours I needed for the monthly Quakers. I am a couple of colours I don't have because they were out of stock, but I will get them as I need them. So these are the beautiful colours. I'm going to show you them all individually. So we've got English Ivy, which is very, very pretty green. Lovely. Aura's Iris. The variegation in some of these is very prominent, but it's not in all of them. Love it. This one is Finley Gold. Very pretty. Camouflage. So we're tending to use 3 of these colours per chart. Pixie Dust. Cherry Cobbler. Bramble Bush. Glazed Carrots. Dublin Bay, lemongrass, deep blue sea. This is the one I used on January, and that's what's left, so I'll use it for another one. I think it appears in November. Pickled beets. That's a beautiful colour. I love the purpley colours, purpley blues and greens. This one is bandana. These are gorgeous. Old blue jeans. Fallen leaves. That's definitely an October colour, isn't it? I think that's definitely used in the October Quaker. And that's Eringo Emerald. Avocado. Goldfish. Olive branch. Those are all the ones I've got so far. I might as well show you the March ones, hadn't I? So while I'm here. So the ones in March are 4-leaf clover. Of course, March. Eve's leaves. And English ivy. I think when I put my order in, I accidentally ordered an English ivy thinking I didn't have it already, and I have. So I'll either keep it in my stash in case I want to do something with it in the future, or I'll just sell it on to someone, destash it. And the colours I use for January, you probably won't see a lot of because there's not much left of it now. So you've got, what was it called? Blacksmith blue. And this one, God, there's even little left. Blue moon. So these were my leftovers from January, which I don't need in any others. So I'll keep those as spare. So that was all my haul actually. I mainly asked for money for Christmas because I wanted to take spending money with me to the retreats I'm going on next year, because obviously I'm going to those stitchy shops in February, so I wanted to be able to just basically buy stuff there. Actually, tell a lie, I did buy one thing for myself out my Christmas money. I'll have to get it up on my tablet because I don't actually have it printed off. Oh, I should show you these ones as well, sorry. They're in my tablet. So the ones I'm using for February Quaker are Strawberry Parfait, Joshua Tree, and Sea Jelly. Gotta admit, I'm not loving those pinks. It's not my favourite colour. So this one I got, it's sort of like a chatelaine, but it's not a chatelaine. I was scouting Etsy like you do, and I saw it and I was like, oh, that's really quite pretty, I might get that one. So I decided to get it, and then after I got it, I started to panic thinking, oh my god, that looks really quite difficult. But as people always say, one stitch at a time. So I got this one, which is a Northern Expressions needlework, and it is called Celtic Snow. I'm just zooming in on the pattern there. And isn't it just beautiful? So you see all those little tiny stars scattered about. Those are the speciality stitches. There's going to be crystals and beads, and you can kit it up with DMC, but it's advised to do in dinky dyes, so I might do it in dinky dyes. I do actually have some really beautiful fabric which I thought would go perfect with this, but it's slightly too small. This is obviously a square pattern and this fabric is more rectangular, so I'll either, I could do it and do it like quite flush to the edges, or I could just look for a nice blue linen or something to do it on instead. So yeah, that was pretty much everything in terms of haul. Don't think I've really brought anything else that I can tell you about. Yeah, that's everything. I thought I'd pop in and do a quick Flosstube video, as I'm heading back to work tomorrow night and I'm away for 2 weeks, so I didn't really want to be waiting like nearly 4 weeks to pop out a Flosstube. So I thought I'd send one out now with my finishes and whips and whatnot. I won't really go into books today because I do want to keep this one quite short. But I have, to be fair, I don't think I've read a huge amount of books. I've only really read The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe and Prince Caspian, and then I read Northern Lights and The Subtle Knife, so I'm very much into my fantasy at the moment. So those are the only books I've read. The only programs I've been watching really is The Mentalist, so I'm on season 7 of that now, so nearly finished, and that's it really in terms. I haven't really watched any films. I watched a couple of those Christmas films over on Netflix, you know, during Christmas. One film I did actually quite enjoy, my mum thought was terrible, was the new Eddie Murphy Christmas film, Candy Cane Lane. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was great, but she said it was crap, but I enjoyed it. If any of you watched it, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. So I think that's everything. I have been watching some Flosstubers as well. For the life of me now, I can't think of who they are. I will pop them in the description box for you to see. And I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah, so first video of 2024. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you again very soon. Take care, everyone. Speak soon. Bye.